line with Health and Human Services. She's muted right now. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are your housing costs different at this new address? Yes or no?
I don't have any income. Yes, it's my own apartment. So how do I report crimes going on with the food stamps benefits? Because, I mean, you lock people up really quick when they commit crimes regarding food stamps. What if it's the government doing it?
Are you trying to...
So, I mean, a lot of people go to jail, and I've heard a lot of recordings of crimes going on with food stamps. Is it a catch-22, or, you know, is it certain people that don't have to suffer consequences for stealing food stamps?
Okay, I can go ahead and adjust your request after I'm done reporting this for you, okay?
I'm sorry?
I can go ahead and adjust your concern after I'm done reporting this for you, okay?
What are you reporting? I'm confused. What are you reporting? You said you can go ahead and address my concern after you finish reporting?
Reporting your address change?
Okay, we can go ahead and complete that. I thought I've already done that, but okay, we'll go ahead and concentrate on that. Ma'am, we've already went over that. If this could be counterfeited, this would be like harassment. You just said yes or no. I told you I was in my own apartment.
Yes, ma'am. However, on your YTB account, your Texas benefits account, I don't have any housing costs that you are paying.
Okay, I have no clue what's happening now. So are you setting me up for assistance? Why are you asking me these questions? I'm not sure what's happening here. Why are you asking me these questions?
Okay. So regarding your residential address, whenever we report a new residential address, we request that you tell us how much you're paying in rent, and if you are paying in...
Okay, so I have to go through this again before I even tell you why I called, and I've already went through this a call earlier. Okay, so let's see what you need now. What is happening here? You're asking me an awful lot of questions. Are you doing the application online? I mean, are you doing the application on the phone?
I'm reporting that change for you.
Okay, so I called in here for information, and you're updating. You're doing a change by asking all these questions, and I haven't even told you why I called. What is the change for?
It was for your residential address. It's still for your residential address. I do apologize. We're almost done.
Okay, so hold on. Let me make sure I understand, because I've already done this at residential address change. So now I have to ask all this long line of questioning just to update an address. And what are you putting this address on? All these questions that you've asked me. Heating and cooling questions, all these questions. You're putting it on what application?
I'm not putting it on an application. I'm putting it on your Texas benefits account. I'm sending this change.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You're repeating questions over again. We've already answered that.
I do apologize. I went ahead and submitted that change for you. I do want to let you know that change reports do take around 30 days to process, and maybe sooner depending on the situation. But like I said, 30 days is the normal processing time frame.
Okay. And what was your name again?
Okay.
What was your name?
Abby.
Okay, I didn't tell you why I called. I didn't tell you why I called.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. How may I help you today?
Okay. So, what email address do you have?
I can go ahead and check that real quick. Just give me a few moments.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I don't have an email address on file. Would you like me to add one?
Okay. So, are you sure you don't have an email address on file?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The letter that was mailed November 2021, or I think they said it was August 2021. Where did it go? Yes, ma'am.
It went to 37 Tyler Street.
Okay, can you repeat that?
3700 South Tyler Street.
Okay. So did they send a letter out to tell me what I qualified for?
No, ma'am.
So how would I know what I qualified for if I didn't get any documentation?
I'm going to go ahead and read you to the letter and what it says, okay?
No, I wanted to know. So you don't send information letting the party know what they qualified for. When did you send the letter saying I needed to do the job search?
So the last letter that I have sent to you was on August 22nd.
I mean, the job search, which stopped me from getting the food stamps. When did you send that out?
I don't have a letter regarding any job search. I do apologize.
Okay, so they required a job search and then sent out a letter?
The job search, could it possibly be from Texas Workforce Commission? Like I said, I don't have a job search form that was sent out to you. I have a letter that was sent out to you on August 22nd regarding your SNAP benefits.
Okay, so how do I get benefits and they didn't want me to know about them? Why would they send a letter in August? If they sent a letter telling me I wasn't allowed the benefits, why didn't they give me a letter stating why? What I needed to do to continue to get the benefits?
I do apologize. They might have had an old address on file, which is why they went ahead and sent it to a different address.
I'm not quite sure. So, what address? Your Health and Human Services. So, what address was it sent to? They didn't give me any information. Your Health and Human Services. Why did they not tell me what I qualified for?
Okay, so did you apply recently?
I'm not being heard, ma'am. When I had the benefits in August, they did not let me know what I had qualified for. Didn't send me any information. Period. This is a pattern, a twilight zone I've had to live in for a long time that I'm trying to expose. So in August, before they stopped them, they didn't want me to know. They didn't want me to have any clue that they were about to be stopped. Nothing was sent out. No documentation. Period. There was already a crime that was committed. 2018, people already committed a crime for those stolen benefits. $1,000 in paid child support payment. $1,000 in food stamps. Who do I report that to? Do they get away with committing that crime? Stealing food stamps?
I'm not sure what you mean by stealing food stamps.
Okay, who do you report a theft of food stamps being stolen October of 2018? If someone stole food stamps, do I need to report that?
Okay, who stole
I just want to know where to report stolen food stamps, ma'am.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'm going to place you on a brief.
Okay, hold on. Okay, before you press play on hold, because this is a pattern. So you have to check and find out your Health and Human Services. You have no clue where to report stolen food stamps, as well as no other place has had it for years. Okay, so now let's go back into why I didn't get any literature, period, stating what I qualified for. In addition to that, stating that they required a job search that no one heard of. Can we rectify that and get answers for that? So why would they give me benefits and not want me to know what they were giving me? You don't get a qualification letter or anything like that to know that you're getting that what you qualify for?
So, Miss, did you file a...
I asked if you send out letters to let people know what they qualify for.
Yes, we do.
Okay, did you send it out? Your Health and Human Services, did you send it out?
The last letter I have sent to you was regarding your SNAP benefits, but it was not regarding what you qualify for.
Okay, so you failed to send me a letter to let me know what I qualified for. Is that what you're stating?
Did you submit an application?
Ma'am, if you see that they were denied August 21st, what are you saying? You're deflecting. So, ma'am, did you send out a qualification letter?
I do need further information.
You need further information to know if you sent a qualification letter out?
Yes, ma'am. Like, when did you apply?
Okay, may have been in July. That's the same case that you just stated in August 21st, I think that you stated.
Yes, ma'am. When did you apply? You said
You're the Health and Human Services, ma'am. When did I apply?
I'm sorry. Like I said, I do need more information. I do apologize.
Okay, you don't want me, you're the Health and Human Services and you don't know when I applied? This is part of the harassment. She's muted. So I would go out of my mind
No,
because they
ma'am,
would
I don't.
purposely play games to time and violate you. And
I
then
need
when
more
you have a
information, such as
meltdown,
what month did
then
you
it's
apply? Did you
you and
apply
you're
this year? Did
mentally
you apply
ill,
last
and
year?
then you have problems, you have
Did you
anger issues.
already
They didn't do
did you
anything to
already
you.
go through
Even
any
though this
other
is my
information
second
with
time
somebody
giving the
else?
address
Did you talk to
update.
somebody earlier today?
Look at how long I've been on the line just updating the address on the phone. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. So you don't want me to know the letters you were happy to let me know that they were denied in August, but you don't want me to know, get clarity on what happened with the qualification letter? You need additional information to know what was going on with the qualification letter that I never got?
So regarding the letter that was sent to you in August,
Not the one in August, the qualification letter, ma'am.
so I don't have a qualification letter that was sent to you in August. The only
Not in August, qualification letter, period. Do you say, when did I get qualify for the benefits that I was denied for? When did I qualify for those, ma'am?
Okay, if you don't mind, I'm going to place you on a brief
You got to
phone
place me on the
call.
hold, ma'am? Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Years. Look at the time. But in person, they would arrest, scheme. See, this is the thing that I couldn't talk about. It's supposed to be psychologically abusive, so they would be rude in time. Like at the 7-Eleven, go in, get out my store. Nothing had happened. That's why I had to start recording. Nothing had happened at these locations. The police set up for the smear campaign for these places to violate me and treat me that way so they can get away with their crimes. Nothing had happened. So I'm saying, like, flabbergasted. What is happening here? I don't know you. Then at Jack in the Box, they said get out the store, and that was my first time there. Get out or we'll call the police. I rode the bus there. So I just started to record it. If they weren't doing that, they just flat out schemed. Ruin my food, burn it intentionally, and then use that as an avenue to deprive me of future services. Don't come back. I love this place, and that's why he did it. It was downtown. It's some kind of Chinese plus restaurant. I loved it, and you could meet a lot of people there. They were open late, so being forced into homelessness, and it was new, and it was like a quality of people, good people there. So I had comfort being at this location. So they put a whole bunch of pepper in my food where I could not even eat it. I was coughing and choking. So I said, "Oh, there's too much pepper in the food." It was deliberate. They told me don't come back. So they would purposely start arguments and schemes to deprive me of services, and there was nothing I can do about it.
Okay, I do appreciate your patience. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. Regarding your denial back in 2021.
Ma'am, you put me on hold a long time, and we were talking about the qualification letter.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go over that with you right now.
Okay. And when I was eligible for the benefits, what date did I apply and get approved for the benefits? Is what you put me on hold to find out.
Okay. So regarding you applied in July. I do see that. However, it doesn't state that you were approved for any benefits. I don't have any approved benefits that were given to you. I do apologize.
Okay, so now I didn't get approved for food stamps.
So you were approved for July, and you were approved for August, and then September you were not approved. In September, the benefits stopped.
So they gave me benefits only for 2 months.
Correct.
Okay, so when I was approved, how much was I approved for? I never got anything regarding it.
I do apologize. I don't actually have that information.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So you apply for food stamps. No one wants you to know what you qualified for. You don't get any information in the mail. So they stopped. Did they send me a letter telling me that they were going to stop?
Correct.
When?
They sent it on August 7th, and I found the information. Do you want to know how much you were qualified for?
No, ma'am. Oh, yes, go ahead and tell me how much was. Okay, so for July, it was 76, and for August, 92?
Correct.
Okay. So So did you send me a letter stating that you were going to cut my food stamps off and I needed to comply with whatever you were requesting that I comply with?
Yes.
When did you send it?
They sent you a failure to comply with SNAP employment and training on, give me one moment, in July 24th. They sent you one letter that stated they needed this information by August 3rd, and then they sent you another letter on August 7th stating that you didn't comply, so they were going to cut off your benefits in September.
Okay, but you told me earlier that they didn't send a letter out at the beginning of this call, and then you put me
Yes,
on hold for a long time, and then you
so
came
my
up with the
system only goes
information.
back. Yes, and my system only goes back to this year. I had to go back to last year's information. That's why I put you on hold. I do apologize.
Okay, so now they sent out a letter in July. Did it state that I made phone calls to the representative and gave them updates of my new job? Do you have to still do training? Because I got the job. I think it was around that time. And if I had a job, why would I still have to do employment training? I told him that.
So I do see you stated that you got a job. However, whenever you are reporting that you got a job, you still need to go to the Texas Workforce Commission office so that way they can send a compliance letter over to us. That letter was never given to us, which is why you were still denied.
Okay, so I called and told him I had a job. He didn't tell me that I needed to do anything that you're stating now. So I gave him an update, nothing was sent. So even though I had a job, they still wanted me. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Why would they force me to all this trouble to go down there and I have a job? That doesn't make sense. If I have a job, it seems like the responsibility would be on you to inform the Texas workforce that I'm working and did not need to do a job search because I had a job. It sounds like people are scheming to violate my rights and deprive me of services as they've done years. He did not tell me I needed to do any of this. If I had a current job, why would I need to do a job search?
So they weren't asking you to do a job search. Whenever you go to the Texas Workforce Commission or you get a sanction of
Okay, so I got approved for benefits in July, and immediately they wanted me to do a job search. No time, no break. Immediately to get the food stamps, they wanted me to do a job search immediately.
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay, so when I told them that I did have a job, that was still not effective, and I still needed to go down and comply with the Texas workforce, even though I had a job.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so now the stolen food stamps and multiple conspirators in violating my rights to deprive me of food stamps and every kind of assistance you can get, period. To the degree of committing massive crimes to intercept any kind of help that even is required by the law. I still don't get. So can you tell me how I can report these crimes that happened October of 2018 when multiple government officials abused their power and deprived me of food stamps and then couldn't get their story straight? And now they gave me records showing that someone spent it. I even showed them. I reported it to different locations, but they wouldn't give me a report number. I reported to multiple different health and human services locations. All of them covered for it. Now they have concocted that I didn't spend it off my card, which it was never on the card. That's a blatant lie. So I do want these people to get the consequences they deserve, because stealing food stamps is a crime. You have put people in jail for doing so. Even if it's the government, they still deserve their charges. It's even more sick if someone abused their power to steal food stamps. So how do I report the crime that happened October 2018, when I was desperate? My bank also deprived me of funds out of criminal activity that I had in my account. A bank that I banked at 15 years would not give me access to funds that I had in my own account. So I tried to get the food stamps to survive, and you guys schemed to deprive me of that, which is criminal. Like they did August 21st with whatever chaos you said is going on and multiple parties can't get their life straight. So how do I report the crime, ma'am?
Okay, if you don't mind, I'm going to place you on a brief hold while I get that information.
Yes, I've been trying to report it years. I've sent fax to the ombudsman, different avenues, calls, and nothing has been resolved. I'll call the Texas workforce out and see what their procedure is, why I was special and had to do this job search that a multitude of people haven't heard of before. So with the police today, I believe that was a scam. That's they're on my abuser's payroll. They're just trying to convince others that I'm delusional and these crimes aren't happening. I can only call scammers and con artists and everyone that covers for the abuse. If they have integrity, I'm not allowed nowhere near them, including at church. So she claims she's Health and Human Services, but have no idea how to report crimes and corruption, fraud. No, you can't. You cannot report crimes, period. I've tried. Anywhere.
The best thing I can do for you right now is actually go ahead and file a complaint so that way you can talk to somebody about this, okay?
Okay, from 2018?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I like to do that.
Okay, I can definitely go ahead and do that for you. Give me one moment. You're going to experience a brief moment of silence, however.
Another hold?
No, I'm still going to be on the line. I'm
okay.
Still here. I'm just filling this out for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Just filled out for you, okay?
Okay, so you have to fill out a form. Okay, it's taking a while. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Do you think that it's odd for the Health and Human Services to not report the stolen food stamps?
I'm sorry?
What are the social workers, the caseworkers that how do they assist with food stamps? What is their job task?
Are you asking how to apply?
The job task of the social workers that help assist with food stamps?
I'm sorry, can you reword that?
Never mind. Just go ahead and complete the what you're completing. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Quick.
So even though I told you went over all this, you want me to repeat it again?
Correct.
Okay. So the food stamps were stolen off the card 2018. They told me that someone stole them off the card, gave me proof. The police wouldn't take the report. Or Health and Human Service workers. So they covered for a theft of the food stamps. Then they changed it to I didn't spend it off my card, which was a blatant lie. They never will put on my card. What is the procedure if someone reports their food stamps stolen and they don't have access to the card? Don't they normally place more benefits on the card?
No, ma'am. I do apologize.
Okay, so if you have benefits stolen and you report it to Health and Human Services that you didn't spend the money, they don't put your benefits back on the card and investigate where the benefits are.
They don't put benefits on if your card was stolen and someone else had used it. That is correct.
Okay, so if your cards were stolen and you report to the to Health and Human Services that your benefit, because I read that you do put them back on the card. Now you don't. If someone reports a theft that they have their benefits stolen off their card that they didn't do, you don't place those benefits back on the card for a theft.
After a certain amount of time, no.
Okay, if at the time that you report it, do you place the benefits back on the card?
That is up to HCC to decide. I do apologize. I don't have any further information on that.
You don't have any further. So at first, then you don't place it on the card, but you do after a certain time frame, you will place them back on the card. Is that what you're stating? I get it. You don't want to incriminate anyone as they have not years. This is not the way it's supposed to be, to where people withhold information to cover for crimes every single call. But okay, I get it. I've had to endure it years. Okay, ma'am, go ahead and finish whatever you claim you're doing. Thank you. So you're doing a complaint now?
Yes, ma'am. I'm filing one for you.
Okay, and you took a while, so you were completing the complaint. So what will happen with this complaint? What's the procedure?
So someone will actually get in contact with you and talk to you about this, okay? Regarding the complaints, they do take around 10 business days to process. It may be longer depending on the situation, but like I said, 10 business days is the normal processing time frame. HSC.
Okay, I'm sorry, what was your name again?
My name is Abby.
Okay. Okay, so I guess you have the address updated now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, goodbye.
Bye. This is Tyler, Health and Human Services. Let's see if they answer. So they can't answer their phone because they gave me the paperwork there showing where these food stamps were stolen. So in these schemes, they can't answer their phone because it'll incriminate people. So if they gave me information showing my food stamps were stolen and sent emails, they know I'm going to ask them what happened. So now in this con, they can't answer their phone. This is dangerous. They also conspired in the crime. Let's see if they answer.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. This is Michelle. How may I assist you?
Yes. How far do your records go back?
I'm sorry, do what now?
How far do your records go back in your system?
At least 5 years.
Okay. Well, can you help me with something?
I'll try to.
Okay. Can I give you my information?
Sure.
Okay. So October of 2018, they stopped.
October 2018, what stopped?
The food stamps that we were discussing. You said it goes back there.
Looks like the last time that you got food stamps was in
October
August
2018. October, that's what we're discussing. You said it goes back. So we're discussing October of
As far as looking at applications and missing information, documents or supporting documents, yes, ma'am, it goes back to that far.
But as for what happened on the case, I'm not allowed to know.
What do you mean? You want to know what happened?
October 2018, yes.
What is October 28th? I'm not getting you on that.
We're talking about food stamps, ma'am. This is Dangerfield,
yes,
Texas.
Ma'am. Yes,
I came in there.
The last time, I'm trying to tell you, the last time that you received food stamp benefits was August the 31st.
I didn't ask that, ma'am. I asked you what happened in October of 2018. I'm not being heard.
October 2018. Why are you wanting to know that far back?
I'm not allowed to?
Yeah, you're allowed to.
Well, can we just concentrate on what happened?
Okay, so slow down because I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me
know
now.
What happened?
Right, October of 20 with my food stamps benefits. I came in there to try to get benefits. I was railroaded and forced to live in. I think it was December. I applied for benefits and they wouldn't give me food stamps at a multitude of locations. So I came in there. They said I told them if they would not accept my benefits, tell me what happened when the benefits that were missing. So I'd like to know when I came there in person and was denied benefits, what happened to why I was denied services if you have the applications and all that period of time. And I'd also like to know what happened to the $1,000 that disappeared.
Let me pull up. Well, I got plenty of.
Yeah, I gave you all my personal information. I gave you all my personal information.
Yes, ma'am, you did. If you'll just hang on just a second, let me pull up a notice for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Bear with me. Takes a minute. It said you're not eligible for benefits. It says you cannot get benefits for 3 months because you did not reply to the SNAP Employment and Training Program sent by the Texas Workforce Commission. To get benefits again after the end of 3 months, you must reapply for benefits and follow the work rules.
Okay, but here's the thing. I was in jail on false charges, and I told them that. There was I was in jail on false charges. I told them that I came in and called a multitude of locations. They still wouldn't give me the benefits. I couldn't do that because I was in jail.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is not going to go all the way back to 2018 to give you past benefits.
No, ma'am. I'm just trying to get clarity if that's okay. That's what I call for. I'm just trying to get clarity. Okay, so here's the thing. So the benefits what's the procedure? Benefits were stolen. So I came in and you guys told me that the benefits, I spent them off my card. And I said I did not spend them off my card.
Hang on. We're talking about benefits that were stolen off your card.
Okay, you have the account up. Is that correct? Do you have the account up?
Hang on.
You have the account up, ma'am. I'm talking too fast, ma'am? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
But do you have, can I ask the questions and then you answer them? You do have the account up, right? So what happened with the benefits that...
Ma'am.
You don't want me to know, ma'am?
Slow down. Would you just give me a minute so I can ask you a question?
I don't, you didn't answer my question, ma'am. You're deflecting. I've been at the edge of my seat for years.
I'm not deflecting. I'm just trying to tell you that if benefits were stolen from you...
Ma'am, can you just look at the account, ma'am? Why would you deflect and do you have the account up?
I'm not deflecting. You asked me
about so what?
Benefit.
Okay, what do you see for the benefits that were on the card?
I'm not the benefits for that month. I'm looking at notices. That's what you asked me to look at.
Okay, so are you refusing to see what happened to the funds that were on?
Refusing.
Okay.
I'm not refusing.
Okay, well, can we
ma'am.
see what happened with the funds that were on the card, ma'am?
Somebody stole them from you, obviously, is what you told me.
Can you look and see what you see in your system?
I can look and see.
Okay,
It's
thank
probably
you.
going to show zero balance is probably what it's going to show. Because if you'll just let me finish this, please.
Okay, I sure will.
Okay?
Okay.
So, if somebody stole your benefits...
Yeah, I don't, ma'am, I'm pressed for time. I just want you to look. I'm just pressed for time, ma'am.
Let me finish.
You're forcing me to hear something that I didn't ask. You're forcing me to hear it, ma'am. Okay, go ahead. I've experienced stranger. Go ahead, ma'am. She has to start an argument to cover for the crimes. Years. This is the location where the police came.
For more options.
Let's see if
To
they
check your
answer.
benefits, confirm your appointment time, check that we have...
How may I help you?
Yes, I want to know about an experience that I had there October of 2018. Another representative hung up, so I couldn't get clarity. I was told that you go back like 5 years. So I'd like to give you my information and get something that happened there. Get clarity on what happened. I'm sorry, can I have your name?
You said I can hear you. I'm sorry.
Your name? Your name?
I'm so sorry.
You don't want me?
My
Your
name?
name? Yes.
My name is Emily. You said from...
And then what did I call? What did I call?
Yes, you're trying to reach Health and Human Services?
What location?
This is the Hillsborough office.
Okay, thank you. Can I give you my information and you tell me what happened? There's my benefits were shut off in October and I really don't have a lot of clarity and I'd like to find out. October 2018. I went to multiple different locations in a crisis. My bank wouldn't give me funds. I did multiple different applications for food stamps in a crisis and no location would give me food stamps. They said it had something to do with something that happened here at this location.
Okay, I can, if you provide your social security number, I can look up your account and see.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure. You can always call the office with the...
You're not able to insure? You're not able... Are you premeditating that you won't be able to look it up?
Well, if it was from 2018, I just am trying to give you expectations.
Because they already told me at another department they go back a while. It's just I'm just having a hard time getting clarity on what happened for some reason.
Okay. Can I have your social security number then, please?
My name? Is that what you asked?
Yes.
It's Kiana Clark. So I'm giving my sensitive information to these scammers that the government is enforcing that I speak with.
If you'll give me just a few moments.
She's muted.
What I can pull up, okay?
Okay, thank you. Well, it shouldn't be too many other accounts with that social security number that you just got.
You have active benefits?
I'm not being heard, ma'am. I've told you a dozen times on this phone call. It was about benefits for 2018 that deprived me of getting benefits at a multitude of locations.
And I'm not seeing, let's see, from 20...
I was told by another operator your system should go back that far.
Yes, ma'am. It's just whether or not I personally, with my credentials, can. Was it food stamps or was it
Yes.
that you were
Yes, food stamps. Something that happened at this very location where James Hastings was at that committed crimes that blacklisted me from getting all kinds of food stamps in a crisis. So then I tried to report to multiple different locations the food stamps that I should have had building up on my card. I didn't get that either, and none would do anything. They covered for it. So if I had stolen food stamps, it was a multitude of parties' responsibility to report that and then put those benefits back on my card. They wouldn't. But back to what happened with the food stamps there. What happened to make, they said that you guys did something there that banned me from food stamps all over.
Okay, I want to make sure that I'm thorough talking through your case history. I'm going to put you on hold for a
Okay,
minute.
so let me make sure I understand. So you said, hold on. You wanted to make sure you had the right account. Then I held on all that time. Now what am I being placed on hold again for?
For me to look through your case to see if I can find details
I don't really like to be placed on blind holds, ma'am. I have crazy things going on. If you could just endure and just look at it with me on the line. Is that okay?
one moment that I might need assistance from a supervisor.
You need assistance from supervisors? Because, okay, ma'am. So what they're doing is they have a supervisor that help them with the lies and cover up. She's muted. That's why it's all these supervisors, because they escalate to someone when they get caught in lies.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Oh, okay. It just went really quiet. So
Oh, good.
The call dropped.
Are you able to tell me what happened with there at this location that had me banned from food stamps in my crisis?
Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna need time.
I thought you just. Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you said it was done real quick. I misunderstood. I can wait.
I need a few moments, okay?
Okay,
that way
thank
I
you.
can look through your case in detail.
Thank you. So I asked her not to put me on hold, and if you notice these calls, even though they're muted, they interrupt. They interrupt when I'm saying incriminating things. So it's obvious that someone is monitoring me. And then can you imagine how that would feel for the government to monitor and use that education that they have, that knowledge to terrorize you with it? Hearing me talk about, okay, I can't wait to go to work and I'm going to work when my daughter's at school, and then a school gets shut down. Oh, okay, I'm going to go to Fort Worth and live because it was nice over there. So I'm going to go to Fort Worth and live. And then they put all the females out the shelter, period, the Fort Worth Convention Center. I recorded it. Police were there guarding that. Then prior to that, they schemed to deprive me of services. I recorded it. It's on my channel. So I told someone that I was going to move to Fort Worth because it was pleasant over there, and they terrorized me to the extreme in Dallas, that I did not want to live in Dallas anymore. So I got to the convention center, and they had put out all the women and children they claimed. And then called security when I wanted to get to the bottom of it. So I was outside. This is how extreme the corruption was when I wasn't recording. So I was talking to someone outside, and she was giving me information on benefits and services. Police came to interrupt it and put me off property. It should have been on camera footage. They had body cams. I don't know who it was. The date was recorded on my channel, and I'll put that in the descriptions. I was talking to someone about services and help that everyone was depriving me of in Dallas. So I went to Fort Worth in this brand new environment. This woman didn't know, was telling me about a lot of different things, and the police department, they interrupted me and put me off property just for talking to someone. Just like police interrupted at the bus stop, like they interrupted at Duncanville. And this man has not called me back. This is how my life, when they were completely, you can tell that a raving lunatic was controlling a lot of people. When I was not recording, it got really real. Okay, I can't get clarity, but I have never seen government officials not get their life straight like this. Everyone has to cover for it in my environment. This just has been out of control. I cannot believe this. Building to building to building with multitude of people that can't get their story straight with no consequences. I'm not saying that, the few dollars is gone, or someone was a bully and just gave someone a citation out of corruption. I mean, these are extreme events. This isn't any little petty crimes. Child abuse, hit and runs, possible murders. I mean, this is extreme events. And then they want to gaslight me and say that I'm mentally ill when their actions I have to record because no one would believe. This is how long I've been on the line with this location alone, trying to incriminate these people in games. Okay, obviously this location, they're covering for crimes. It's obvious. So let me try to go another avenue to incriminate people. This is how long I've been on hold with her games. Okay, another location won't answer your phone. Hello?
Hello, Health and Human Services. How may I help you?
Yes, what is the number to the workforce?
Hold on, ma'am. Let me get it.
Okay, thank you. When you have job searches and to get your food stamp, that's where you call to get information on the job search?
Yes, if it's Texas workforce that you're looking for.
Okay. Okay, so if you have a valid excuse for not complying to the work search, what's the procedure?
If you have say it again.
A
I'm
valid
sorry.
reasoning for not complying to the work search? What's the
If you
procedure?
have not compliant
Right.
are you applying for food stamps or what are you applying for?
Food stamps.
And you have to yes, you have
If
to
you have a
complete
valid reason for not complying to the work search, what happens?
Hold on one moment.
Ma'am, again.
Hello.
Yes, may I have your name?
I was going to see if perhaps I could answer your question.
Okay, did you want me to have your name?
My name? Why would you need my name?
I'd just like to know who I was talking to. Why would you not want me to have your name is the question.
Well, just put it down. Miss Smith.
Okay. Okay, so Miss Smith, I'd like information on what happened. I've been having a struggling to get information on what happened a period when I was blacklisted from all food stamps. And I also have a question for the workforce. How did the work, I'll ask them. So I call that when they hold up my food stamps, the workforce?
So they put a sanction on you?
I don't know what's going on. People don't want me to know. So how do you get sanctions?
You just, they mail you a letter telling you to attend some kind of orientation.
I thought that they only did that with TANF.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, so they put a sanction on me. So here's the thing. I have questions that happened in October of 2018, and I just can't get clarity for years. Because it had me blacklisted from food stamps in a crisis, and I don't know what happened.
Well, I can certainly put you in and have a supervisor call you.
A supervisor, one that's already supposed to be calling to help, and I haven't received assistance. I think that this is a red flag that a crime was committed, ma'am. No one has had the answers for years. I went to Tyler. Tyler said that they sent emails and gave me paperwork stating where someone had took the funds out of my account, and I tried to report it to the police. They wouldn't take it. I went to another location, Dangerfield, and then since they would not give me those funds back, I tried to reapply. Then they concocted with all these conspirators covering up that I did not qualify, something had happened, and it deprived me of food stamps in my crisis. And my bank deprived me of funds. No one wants to tell me what had me blacklisted from applying for food stamps. They can't get their story straight. So they would not do anything regarding the stolen. What's the procedure if someone steals food stamps? I was in jail on false charges. I obviously couldn't have spent them. So if I reported that to a multiple different staff, and they gave me paperwork stating that it was stolen, what were they supposed to do if they had proof that I was in jail on false charges and could not have spent it? What were they supposed to do?
Well, ma'am, you're asking a bunch of legal questions, and I'm not an attorney.
Oh, what is your position?
We're just, receptionists answering.
Why would she put you on the phone like you were a supervisor? So your Health and Human Services, as well as all the other locations I've been to, they enforce crimes and will not report the stolen food stamps. Period. But they are easy to lock people up for committing crimes with food stamps. But when the Health and Human Services and the government does it, there's no consequences. So obviously the multitude of people do not want me to know because they're committing crimes. So typically I would think if someone's reporting the food stamp stolen, you investigate them and put the money back on the card. And not enforce crimes as they've done years. Okay, ma'am, let me go on to the next crime. Thank you, ma'am.
May I direct your call?
Hello, Annette. I'd like to know, I guess I got a sanction, and I just want to know what happened with the sanction.
Okay, let me pull up the system, and I'm going to need to get your full social, please.
Okay. How far back does your system go?
Well, what I see, it looks like you were outreached.
I wanted to know how far back your system goes.
It was 2021 the last time.
I wanted to know how far your system goes back. How far does your system go back, ma'am?
Okay, I'm not sure what you're asking. Because
You don't. That's hard. It's a hard
Okay.
question to say. How far does your system go back? Period.
No, ma'am.
Your
I'm just
database.
saying
How far does your database go back?
I'm not aware of how far the
Okay, well, we
database
can
goes
try
back.
after you give me this information. We can try later. Okay, so the 2021. So I reported after I figured out something was going on where they stated that I needed to come in. I didn't really have a lot of clarity, so I called and reported a multitude of times, and I could never get anything resolved that I had a job.
Okay, now that would have gone through Health and Human Services. When you have a job, that's reported to Health and Human Services.
I did, and they
have
said that you
co-
sanctioned. You have that information in the system?
What I see in the system that you were coded in 2021 as mandatory and not working.
I'm telling you
don't
that I had a
see it.
job. I'm not being heard, ma'am. That there's a lack of communication.
No, ma'am. You're
Okay.
being heard, but I'm just telling you that what we see in the system from Health and Human Services, that they had coded you as mandatory and not working, which means maybe they didn't update that information when you gave it to them.
Okay, they just said they did, and it was your fault. A multitude of people can't get their story straight. So now the Health and Human Services did it.
Okay, ma'am, we only outreach you as they have you coded. They coded you as mandatory and not working. That's why we outreached you. But at this point in time, there wouldn't be anything in...
Ma'am, I'm not being heard, ma'am. I wanted to know what happened, why I didn't get my benefits. Well, I'm calling workforce, and if they have me coded as mandatory, I'm not sure what you're doing right here with this call.
You didn't get your benefits because you didn't attend the orientation.
But here's the thing, ma'am. I think I've talked to you. I think you sound like the very same person that I talked to. When I found out they did that, I tried to inform people that I had a job, and they would not give me the benefits. And you sound like the same person I talked to.
Ma'am, you would not report your job information to me. That would have to go through Health and Human Services, not us.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So Health and Human Services knew that I had a job. So with that information, they were supposed to remove me from your database? Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is if Health and Human Services knew that you had a job and put it in the system, then we would not have received your information. They should have coded you or exempted you.
Okay, they lied. They lied and to cover for crimes as they've been doing years, ma'am. So can you go back to October 2018? They lied again. And then there's something Okay, so you can't go back to 20.
See, our systems maybe is slightly different. What I see in 2018, all the way down through 2016, that you are mandatory.
So someone out of a scheme concocted that they wanted me to have work to get benefits. So, okay, so here's the thing. So in 2018, I reported to a multitude of people because they would not. So 2018, they would not give me benefits, and it was mandatory work to get benefits. Is that what you're saying? So they gave me a catch-22 that a multitude of other citizens didn't have to have, and enforced that I had a job in my crisis and not get benefits. So, okay, October, you said that you saw it in 2018 that it was mandatory work. So is that why I didn't...
All the way up to 20 as mandatory and not working.
Okay.
Which means anytime you're coded such, we would send you an outreach letter inviting you to an orientation. And those orientations are usually considered mandatory to participate in order for you to continue to receive your benefits.
Okay, so I got that, ma'am. So here's the problem. So in 2018... they coded me and then deprived me of food stamps in my crisis, stating that I didn't do a job search when I was in jail on false charges. I reached out to multiple different parties, workforce all over, and they would not correct the issue, period. Bondsmen, they would not, period. So then I had benefits stolen from me too at the same time.
Okay, workforce can't change any of that. It would have to go through Health and Human Services.
Okay, so if I had a job, if I was not able to comply with workforce because I had was in jail on false charges, Health and Human Services handle that?
If you called our office and told us that you had a job, we would.
Ma'am, I was in jail on false charges and I could not comply to the work search that they set up out of malice to deprive me of food stamps that they premeditated. Ma'am, here's the thing: I was in jail on false charges. They concocted to deprive me of my food stamps that I needed to do a job search. When I found out that they did that, then I reported that I could not have done the job search because I was in jail on false charges and had evidence. No one would correct the issue because they didn't want me to have the food stamps like they're scheming now. I'm just trying to expose it. So if I have informed a multitude of people, emails, texts, faxes, and no, they would deprive me with multiple different locations, and they would not give me food stamps, period. So if I was in jail on false charges, who should have corrected that issue if I had proof, emails, and notifying all these people in my crisis that I needed food stamps? My bank wouldn't give me funds. I was destitute. So if I informed all these multitude of people that I could not have did the job search because I was in jail on false charges, who should have solved that issue?
That would be something you would take up with Health and Human Services, not our office.
Okay, so Health and Human Services. I just want to make sure Health and Human Services. If I told them that I could not have spent those benefits, I was in jail on false charges, they should have changed that. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that you have the option of appealing that decision. That's back in.
I'm not being heard, ma'am. I think that if I'm telling people that I could not have spent the food stamp, that I could not have did the job search because I was in jail on false charges, who would I have reported that to?
Health and Human Services.
Okay, with that information, what should they have done?
That's not my job. I couldn't tell you what they should have done. You would have to contact them and ask them what they should have done.
So if I let them know that you don't know if I would have been eligible for the food stamps, or would they reschedule the benefits? You don't know the procedure. Would they reschedule the work search?
Ma'am, that is all handled through Health and Human Services, not our office.
Ma'am, have you heard of anyone with a story like mine, ma'am, where the government was scheming to deprive someone of their constitutional rights before COVID to an extreme that a multitude of people ignored and had no compassion for and only conspired with it? And then they didn't have rights?
Call Health and Human Services, ma'am. I can't assist you with any of that.
Okay, so back to, ma'am, I have a question about August. Ma'am?
I'm here.
Okay, so I could have sworn, and you really sound like the person I spoke with. So if I reported that I have a job, are you there? Okay.
I am here.
Okay, so if I reported to Health and Human Services I had a job, they checked the wrong thing, which set up for me to have to comply with your work search because they did not put down that I had a job. Is that correct?
I'm listening. I can't tell you if that's correct. You're telling me.
I don't know, ma'am. The only thing I know is I told them I have a job. So what if I have a job and I told you guys I have a job? So why would I need to do a work search? What did you guys want me to do?
Ma'am, we have nothing to show in our system that you have a job. Health and Human Services is the one that coded you as mandatory and not working.
Okay.
We don't handle any of that.
Okay, so I report to Health and Human Services that I have a job, and then if I have a job, do they still require the work search?
If you have a job, then they would have changed your coding in the system, and you would not have had to attend a workshop here.
Okay, well, they blatantly lied, ma'am. I'm just trying to expose a multitude of conspirators. This has been crazy even before COVID. Thank you, ma'am. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.